The Magic Shop, the Magic Store is a story full of fantasy of a series or surprising events that attract the attention not only of its characters but even of the reader himself. Fascinately written by H.G. Wells and first published in 1903, it describes a particular store located on Oxford Street, and although the story is completely fictional, the street actually exists and belongs to a very commercial sector in the city of London. The story is told in the first person and is about magic, the real magic that is revealed in everything and each of the objects in an unlikely store. What seems to be common toy store, magic tricks and other childish things unstoppably draws the attention of a boy named Gib, who drags his father into it after observing the novelties offered in these windows. From the moment they walk through the door, they find themselves surrounded by all kinds of strange, eye-catching, and some even extraordinary objects. Father and son are served by a salesman as strange as the store and everything in it. A strange man who kindly shows them the different magic tricks that are available to them, as well as guiding them on a kind of tour through the different display shelves that the store has, while showing off all the tricks that he is capable of doing, from taking crystal balls from any part of his body to shake all kinds of things from the child's father's hat. With each act, the child looks more fascinated and the parents more concerned, not only because of the bill that he will have to pay, but because of the impossible and too magical of everything that happens. The salesman, always friendly and always magical, shows the child option for tricks that will leave his friends astonished and that takes the father himself to the limit of his nervousness. Clearly, The Magic Shop is a short story of fantastic narrative. It is full from beginning to end with magical elements and some surreal, like the little diamond that hangs from the father's jacket. The characters are well marked and defined both from physical and personality context. For some people, the salesperson may be the central character in the story, but it is actually Gib, who the whole plot revolves around. He is the one who leads his father to enter the store. He is the one to whom the salesman makes his magic demonstration. He is given the crystal balls and to whom the attention is directed at all times. The seller wanting to surprise him and his father trying to contain him to avoid some incomprehensible or unpleasant surprise. The seller himself indicates that Gib was the one to enter the store, since not all the children are allowed to do so. Gib has what it takes to enter that wonderful and secretive world of magic, genuine magic without disappointment. On the other hand, Gib's father is not so confident in the seller, believes that they are just tricks, remains cautious, and does not stop thinking about how much the bill will be. Just as the salesman and Gib are connected by their fascination with magic, the author hooks the readers in the same way, since by his descriptive skills, he makes each act of magic happen in our imagination while we read it. And thanks to its good use of literacy, resource imagery, which is revealed from the first lines of the story and which completely fills its development. We are silent witnesses of everything that happens inside that magic store. The style, as I have mentioned before, is completely narrative and widely descriptive. Its tone is a combination of curious and worried with centered moments of melancholy. Although the father's first-person narrative voice tries to remain formal and cautious, in certain cases it appears somewhat hesitant. I consider them being a short story full of magical elements and whose central character is a child. This was written for a young target audience. In order to entertain and at the same time to lead to reflection on the illusion of the ability to surprise ourselves that must be preserved even over the years. It also refers to the negative things that sometimes we carry without knowing and of which we must be alert to get rid of, then since we are not only the external but also the internal. What stands out the most in the story is a detailed description to convey to our minds everything that happens, and without a doubt that magic is repetitive pattern through tricks, objects that come to life, things that appear and disappear in front of the characters, etc. The contrast between the characters of the father and the seller is very well defined and at the same time complemented. The father is cautious, fearful, cold, while the salesman is passionate about his magical art and enjoys tricks and so on together with the child. It is a work that recreates the feeling of every child to be amazed by novelty, the unexpected, the magical, sensations that we lose as adults. The story would be perfect if it were adapted to the theater and could be executed for both children and adults. A mixture of theater with certain circus elements could be made to give more vitality to some of the passage of the story. Instead of a single child, it will be interesting to include several children with their respective parents to see the dynamics of their different personalities within the story magical. Another twist is that instead of being a male salesman, could be a woman who eventually marries Gibbs' father, so she would add magic to the father's life. That is all. I hope that you really like it, and thank you very much.